One thing I can tell you guys, if you've been to Rio and you haven't done that boat party, you haven't done that boat rental, you haven't been to Rio, bro. That's like going to New York and not going to 42nd Street. That's like going to Philly and not getting a cheesesteak. You think about Rio, you need to be thinking about boat party or boat rental. I don't care what you're doing on the boat, but you need to be thinking about being on the boat. Ain't too many places on this world that got that beach mountain combo. That's like a legendary combo, bro. God only did that a couple times. He sprinkled that in. He ain't overdo it. He sprinkled that into a couple countries. South Africa got it. Rio got it. You can't just go anybody, though. That's the key. That's what we talking about today. You just can't go willy-nilly with the guy you met at Copacabana. He might overcharge you. He definitely trying to get on the boat with you. So if you don't want somebody all in the videos, all in the records, use my way, man. I'm telling you. What's up, guys, and welcome back to the channel. If you're new here, we combine Cologne and travel reviews to bring you an experience you might not be able to find anywhere else. Please like, comment, subscribe, keep the page rocking and rolling. With that being said, let's get it. Alright guys, so today we got a cool video. We'll be talking about a scent that I first smelled. I wasn't feeling it like that. We'll also be talking about Rio boat parties or Rio boat rentals in general. One thing I can tell you guys, if you've been to Rio and you haven't done that boat party, you haven't done that boat rental, you haven't been to Rio, bro. That's like going to New York and not going to 42nd Street. That's like going to Philly and not getting a cheesesteak. When you think about Rio, you need to be thinking about boat party or boat rental. I don't care what you're doing on the boat, but you need to be thinking about being on the boat. Ain't too many places on this world that got that beach mountain combo. That's like a legendary combo, bro. God only did that a couple times. He sprinkled that in. He ain't overdo it. He sprinkled that into a couple countries. South Africa got it. Rio got it. You can't just go with anybody, though. That's the key. That's what we talking about today. You just can't go willy-nilly with the guy you met at Copacabana. He might overcharge you. He definitely trying to get on the boat with you. So if you don't want somebody all in the videos, all on the records, use my way, man. I'm telling you. I'm talking about no Viator. No, get your tour, just straight cutting out any tour guide and doing it directly with the boat captain, which we found to be cheaper, faster, and have less politics involved. So without further ado, we're gonna get into it. But before we get into it, of course, I gotta go over how things go here. So if this is your first time watching the channel, these videos usually have 3 parts. First, we do the initial review. That's when we do the initial spray on, we get those top notes. We kind of get an idea of what the fragrance is about. Second, we go into the travel content. Like I said, today we'll be talking about Rio boat parties, Rio boat rentals. Third, we do the dry down. With the dry down, we'll be talking about the base and the middle notes. And these are the notes that come alive like maybe 10, 15 minutes after the initial spray on. And that's basically going to be the scent that you live with until you reapply that thing. So you ready? Cool, let's get into it. Hey guys, so like I said, today we're going to be dealing with a scent that when I first smelled it, I ain't gonna lie, I was super disappointed, guys. This is Tom Ford Lost Cherry. We got the decon box here. One is missing, obviously. That's tobacco vanilla. But this is a nice little decon box I picked up during the holidays. Come with Lost Cherry. It come with oud wood. And also come with Soleil Blanc. And guys, when I first smelled this thing, I was expecting a little more. I mean, it's called Lost Cherry. But the initial spray onto this thing, oh my goodness. It's a blasted cherry, guys. It's a blasted cherry. And that's why it's so important to stick it out, guys. Don't cross off a scent just off the spray on. I'm telling you, this happened to me way too much. And I know it happens to a lot of people, especially when you're in the designer stores, you rush in, you're trying to get here, you're trying to get home. A lot of stuff is going through your mind. Sometimes you're trying to get away from the salesperson. So you just want to spray it on real quick, smell it, and leave. I get you, bro. But return to it. So many times I've smelled something off the rip and been like, I don't know if I like it, but I let that thing dry down 10, 15 minutes and I'm like, yo, this is the most amazing scent ever. So super important that you do that. All right, but anyway, enough yapping. We're going to get right into this. One thing I don't like about Tom Ford, like decons like this, they don't come with an atomizer. So it's a bit weird. What we're going to do is we're going to shake this joint up a little bit, air out the hand, and then we're going to do it like this. I'm going to just boom, 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 boom. That was actually more than I even wanted, but it's cool. And I already kind of gave away the special sauce. Lost Cherry smells exactly how you think it smells, like a blasted cherry. It smells nice, but it's a blast. Like, and the reason why I said initially I didn't like this is because if you guys been watching the videos, I don't really like fruity scents. That's not my thing. Like super fruity scents don't do it for me. I think they lean a little feminine for my taste. And it almost smells like a cherry cleaner. Like it literally smells like a Lysol cherry flavored kitchen cleaner. Which again, at first I wasn't feeling it, especially for Tom Ford prices. I'm like, I'm about to buy a little cherry flavor joint. Smell like a cherry flavored lollipop. And I'm thinking like, yo, for the females, this is probably a nice little vibe. Like, you know what I'm saying? Got that little fruity, sexy thing going on. But for me, I'm a grown man, bro. I don't even be walking around smelling like a cherry lollipop, bro. A cherry Laffy Taffy. That was my thinking, bro. But again, I never let this thing dry down, so that was my fault, to be honest. But yeah, I ain't gonna lie, guys, it ain't much to talk about on the spray on. Like literally, it smells like cherry. But if you love cherry, if you're like a cherry fanatic, this is a no-brainer because this is probably one of the best cherry scents you're gonna get. But we're gonna come back on the dry down so I can give you guys like a more in-depth take on this thing, let it dry down, let the other notes come out, because this is way more complex than you would think on the initial spray on. Alright guys, so as we let this thing dry down, let's get right into the travel content. Today we're going to be talking about real boat parties or real boat rentals. We'll be talking about the 4 advantages of cutting the middleman out when booking a real boat rental. Alright guys, so the first thing you're going to want to know, before we get into the 3 reasons, the first thing you're going to want to know is how to start the process. The first thing you're going to want to do is get to Gloria Marina. Now 9 times out of 10, any servicer that you're using or tour guide or whatever, that's where they're going to push you to anyway. They just already have connections. They already know captains of the boats. They already know the network over there. So you're kind of just leveraging their knowledge. But if you know where to start the process off, you could kind of get yourself through this by yourself. So as I mentioned, the first time I did this, this is how we did it. We got to Gloria Marina. You're actually allowed to get on the dock. You're actually allowed to talk to captains, and you could just negotiate. There will be captains on their boats. You let them know, your price range. You let them know the hours you're looking into. Of course, you don't have to do it this exact same day. You could just have an open line of communication with them for maybe next week, or, the same day. In my case, we did the same day. Just the idea of how to get the process started before I go into these points. I mean, the great thing about this method is cold, hard cash right in front of their face, which always makes things a little smoother. And we'll talk about it later about the politics of renting a boat in Rio. Sometimes you gotta do deposits, you gotta do minimums, a bunch of rules, all this stuff. So it gets a little complicated. But that's a good segue to get into number 1, which is price effectiveness. If you try to book a boat rental or boat tour online, you're going to see a wide range of prices because, of course, the captain is who's making the price. Then on top of that, the service provider, the tour guide, they got to get their little piece, right? So the price is going to be a little more if you do it directly with the person. Like I said, the money is right in that person's face. So you can have a speedboat, you can have a sailboat. There's different type of boats. So if you want a speedboat, a little something more modern, 500 or more. I think 500 on the low end. If you want a sailboat, you could get one of those like 300, 400. But like I said, that modern, that newer vibe, definitely gonna be 500 plus, and I could easily reach 12, 13, 1400 depending on how new the boat is, how many people you're bringing, how many hours, things like that. So in our case, we ended up a little under 300 bucks. We ended up paying 275 for 3 hours, and we ended up only using like 2.5 hours because there's but so much you could do on a boat. I think some people do 4, 5, 6 hours. I don't know how they do all that, but God bless them, because that's a lot of time, bro. So like I said, we were looking at about 450, 500 online compared to the 275 in person. So we saved about 200 bucks. All right, guys, reason number 2, flexibility. And this is probably one of the biggest motivators to do this in person, especially when you're dealing with a real boat party. The thing is, a party is determined on the guest. Imagine you done paid your deposit online, the day comes, and everybody you invited can't make it or flake on you. So this is why this is a really nice method, because guess what you could do when you're doing it like this? Or at least what we did. We called everybody we invited that morning just to double check to make sure they were still coming. Hey, yo, boat party, 2 p.m., Gloria Marina. Are you coming? Yes, I'm coming. Confirmation, you're like, all right, cool, rocking and rolling, bro. Let's get it done. Now, if we would have did this online, the day comes, nobody shows up. Come on now, bro. Money out the window, heartbroken, day wasted, and just a bad situation. We got the confirmation, that flexibility was there. We could have called it off. We could have not went. We had a bunch of options. So even right when we got to the, boom, call again. Right when we at the marine, boom, we here. Like, is y'all coming? Yeah, we be there in an hour. Cool, copy. Boom, pay your man right there. Once we got the confirmation, pay homie, keep it pushing. We out. Let's do it. Hey, boom, guys. The third reason why it's best to cut the middleman, go straight to the boat captain, is you're going to get a customized experience. Now, when you do it online, they have a bunch of options. Yeah, they do this, do that. But for the most part, there's like a blueprint already set. Like the hours that you're going to be is already set. The time period you're going to stay at certain places is already set. So it's kind of already pre-mapped out tour, which some people like. But in case you don't like that, in case you want something that's a little more unique to your taste and what your party wants, I think it's better to go to the boat captain and talk about those things. So like I said, he let us negotiate the hours. We didn't have to do like a 4 or 5 hour minimum. Obviously we didn't have to do a deposit because we wanted to go like literally in the next hour. He let us bring our own drinks, own food, own snacks, which I must say, guys, the tours come with that. So that's kind of cutting into the $200 budget that we saved. But we were fine with that because a lot of the things that came with the tour, didn't really interest us. I mean, obviously it came with water, I think some juices, beers, some finger food, nothing too crazy. The best thing about doing this in person at Gloria Marina is that they have an inside market. So all we had to do was literally walk steps away. So dope. Walk steps away, go to the liquor store inside of the little market, get bottles. They had ice, of course. They had pretty much everything you need for a boat party. Cause we didn't bring anything, honestly. We thought we was gonna be able to cut the deal, head to a quick supermarket. Cause we didn't bring anything, honestly. We thought we was gonna be able to cut the deal, head to a close supermarket, pick up whatever we needed, and head back probably like 2 hours, an hour. But because they had that market there, we were ready to rock and roll off the jump. So that was super clutch. All right, guys. Reason number 4 and the last one is you cut out a lot of politics. Like I said, if you do it online, it's a minimum hours, it's minimum payment, it's these times to these times. Enter your credit card, do this, it's a lot of rules and regulations. You can't have more than these people. If you go over this amount, you got to pay this, pay per person. It's a lot of politics for you doing online. When you're there with the boat captain, especially if everybody's there, look, these who I'm with, you can take us or leave us. You can take us or leave us, brother. It's up to you, like what we doing here. And like I said, when the money is out, we man to man, mano a mano, money being exchanged. All you got is a gentleman's handshake. Things get done. Sometimes when it's a lot of noise, especially if you're doing this with a group of guys, oh my goodness, bro. Oh my goodness, you got people saying, yo, I want this boat, I want that boat. Yo, I don't want to pay, I don't want to put my credit card down, I don't want to pay the deposit. You got different people who want different times. So when y'all all together, y'all agree on a boat, y'all there with it's easier. It's just way easier in my experience. But yeah, guys, those are the 4 reasons I think it's best to cut the middleman, head directly to the marina, and talk to the boat captains and negotiate your own deal. With that being said, guys, we're going to jump into the dry down. Let's get it. Guys, Lost Cherry on the dry down. Chef kiss, guys. It is a nice scent, bro. It is a nice scent. It has matured so much. I find that Laffy Taffy, Fruity Tooty stuff to be immature, to be honest. I find it to be a little childish in its smell. Something I could imagine a 10 or 11-year-old wearing. But this dry down, Tom Ford has something in store for us, bro. It got way more like boozy. Like it almost smells like a cherry flavored rum or something. Like it got like it still holds that cherry great. Like the cherry is still there, but it's just, that's not what it's all about now. Before, that was what it was all about. It just was a cherry bomb, bro. Now you can smell more of those earth notes, which tones down the cherry. May even be some patchouli in there. I definitely know, like, there's almonds in here. A perfect scent, especially for a real boat party. This is gonna work. This is like a resort scent. I wouldn't do first date night with this. I think it's still a little too fruity for that. But this is definitely anything involving water. As far as like, you can wear this to a aqua theme park. It's very nice, bro. It's very nice. Maybe we want to throw it on right now, but I ain't got no move, so I'll just be sleeping in it. And don't kill me, guys, but this thing is slightly smoky, bro. Like ever so slightly smoky. Which again, just add to that grown and sexy tone it got. A nice scent, bro. A nice scent. If you haven't already, check out Lost Cherry. This decant, I want to say it's gonna run you about $80. They had a great deal during the holiday when I got it. I think I got this for about 40. So if you could wait towards if you could wait till the holidays, go ahead and do that. But if you can't, if you gotta get your hands on it, it's worth it. And look, this thing, like I said, it comes with 4 decants, tobacco vanilla, which I just lost, I guess, cherry, and these other 2. Well worth it, bro. Well worth it. A little pricey because when you think about it, it's about 20 a pop. So that's a little pricey, but they're 4 milliliters each. They're gonna last you a good bit. And if you know Tom Ford, them things are always pricey. So I think it's worth it. Go ahead, get your hands on Lost Cherry in my description box. Hope you guys have fun. When you're in Rio, try out my method. Let me know how you feel about it. If it don't work for you, let us know here so everybody know not to do it. If it works great for you, let us know here so everybody do it. But you guys be the judge. I hope you guys have fun. I'll check and do it on YouTube. Nah, YouTube.